Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Big Ten women's tournament got underway today with play-in games. Penn State defeated Minnesota in the 12-13 matchup, 72-67, and Rutgers held off 14-seeded Northwestern 63-59. The Huskers open their tournament play tomorrow, 11:30 against Michigan State, with our pregame coverage beginning at 11:15. Tonight in Big Ten men's hoops, 21st-ranked Maryland visiting Ohio State. That's about to tip off in Columbus. Later tonight, Penn State visiting Northwestern. Husker men's tennis player Shunya Mariyama was named today as the Big Ten's Athlete of the Week. Mariyama went 2-0 last week with wins over opponents from Alabama in both singles and doubles. And on the Husker women's side of tennis, Samantha Alicia was tabbed as the Big Ten's Women's Athlete of the Week. She went 6-0, winning 3 singles matches, 3 doubles matches over the weekend. Our ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit Nebraska-1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for another night of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
First pitch to Josh. Breaking ball hammered to left. That is absolutely crushed. Way out of here over the hitting facility in left field.
Now the Huskers were scrambled. Here's Shelley for 3, top of the key. You betcha. Jazz Shelley with a triple.
Riesel with a basketball drives the ball all the way to the hoop, puts it up and in. Holy smokes! Holy cow! Sam Riesel puts Nebraska ahead by 1.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Good evening. Welcome to another night of Sports Nightly, a full 2 hours for tonight. In fact, we have full shows tonight, tomorrow, and Friday.
Yeah.
When did that last happen?
Last
October?
July.
October, maybe? I mean, you got to go back a ways.
Yeah, but the thing is like we had volleyball, so it was even in the fall sometimes we didn't have full shows.
Maybe not.
So
Crazy. We're going to throw a lot of people. Tonight we've got a great show. Trev Albert's going to stop by here in a couple of minutes. We have not talked to the Husker athletic director for several weeks. Looking forward to talking to him about a wide variety of topics. Will Bolt will make an appearance tonight. Huskers getting ready to travel to Minneapolis for the Cambria College Classic over the weekend, where they'll play Vanderbilt, Hawaii, and Ole Miss over the weekend. And kicking back with the Cooks. The full podcast is now available for you. We will play you a snippet of that here in hour number 2 of the program. And as always, we want you to be a part of this little ditty, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text.
what's a ditty? A ditty.
A ditty is like a little short program or a little thing.
Is it in the dictionary?
Yeah, you can find ditty.
Okay.
A little ditty.
Wikipedia.
I bet a lot of our audience has used that phrase before.
It's a little ditty.
Little ditty.
I like that word.
I
Ditty.
felt, Jessica, last night like I watched 2 basketball games.
Yeah.
The first
absolutely.
20 minutes and then the second 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, again, Jake said it best in the postgame. You have to credit Michigan State. The way that they shot it, they were just unconscious. But then also, the Huskers played such good defense in the first half. And as Fred alluded to in his postgame, perhaps the best defense that they've played all year was in that first half. But then, they didn't contest as well. And then Michigan State got going. And then they got, it was just, it's contagious sometimes when that happens. Because I don't think, and Emmanuel Vandermill, I had a conversation with him today, and that's what we were talking about. It wasn't like the Huskers were just playing bad defense. They just were able to get going there to start the second half, and then it was just a free-for-all. It was a domino effect.
Nebraska switched it up, played a little bit of zone for a few possessions in the second half, and I thought that helped. But the same time that Michigan State was making threes, Nebraska went cold for about a 5-minute stretch. And that's when the game flipped from a Nebraska lead of 7 or 8 to Michigan State up by about 3 or 4.
Obviously not going to question, Coach Hoiberg. He's the guy for a reason. But I thought there was a need, because there was a time, a good amount of stretch, that Casey Tominaga and Derek Walker were on the bench together. And when things weren't getting going, and how many times have we heard that Derek Walker makes that offense go? And so, and I'm sure, and I know they probably thought, well, it might come down to the end and we got to save some minutes, save the legs a little bit. but I would have liked to have maybe seen, and you know, how many times have we seen lineups without Derek and Casey manage? And so you have to have faith in those guys, but also when things were struggling to get going on the offensive end and both of those guys were on the bench, I was just pleading to put one of them in, you know, even just stagger them, because it went ice cold. I mean, just could not hit the broadside of a barn, and it was Michigan State was throwing the beach ball into the ocean. It was just completely opposite ends of the offensive spectrum during that stretch. It's
funny you said, you and I have not had this conversation today. I thought the same thing. When I saw that lineup out there for about 3 minutes, I'm like, what? Where's the scoring going to come from?
Yeah.
And that was part of that drought for Nebraska that they could not overcome.
And C.J. Wilcher just did not have it last night. And that's part of the problem, too, with that lineup, you know, and he's one where his first one goes in, you know he's going to have a big night, but sometimes if the first one doesn't, he can struggle, and he struggled last night. So he should help that lineup, but he just did not have it going last night.
He and Sam Hoiberg went a combined 1 for 9. And I think they were both on the floor for a good chunk of that little time that you were talking about. And it wasn't a foul trouble issue, because Derek and Casey were not in any kind of foul trouble at all in the game. And I just think, man, I bet the coaching staff is kicking themselves, because you know they've gone back and watched it 10 times already by now, going, man, what were we thinking at that point?
Yeah, and, you know, and I know they probably thought, too, and maybe they were, which Casey's playing a lot better defense. How much have we heard that? But maybe they thought, too, like, oh, we'll go with the defensive lineup here, too, but to try to slow down Michigan State. But I just, when the scoring went ice cold, I just was thinking, okay, you got to get one of them in there. That was my thought. And you know, they have their reasons for everything. And maybe they thought it was going to be another, you know, grind it out with a, you know, battle towards the end. Because you knew Michigan State was not going to just roll over. I mean, I think, you know, the Huskers very well could have been up a lot more at half. They could have extended that lead a little bit. But, you know, I mean, that's a tournament team that needed to get some stuff going, and you had to know that they were not going to just completely give it to Nebraska in the second half. And so they came out and they got it going. And it's so disappointing, because you wanted to see those seniors that have meant so much to this program go out with a win, and how well they played in the first half. Just could not figure out a way to get them stopped and get it going during that stretch.
And the place was jumping.
Oh,
I mean, it was absolutely rocking. The emotion of senior night, the introductions, all of that, the way Nebraska played for the first 20 minutes. But it flipped. And I don't know if Nebraska got a little emotionally drained. That could happen. Sometimes that does on senior night. You're so fired up when the game begins that you then have a letdown at some point in time. That may have factored into it as well.
It also is, I mean, do you know how disheartening it is when, I mean, again, it wasn't like, a lot of times Michigan State was knocking down threes at the end of a shot clock, you know, or, you know, they had a breakdown in the defense. And then when they just couldn't miss, it is just like, come on.
Right.
It just takes the wind out of the sails when everybody was hitting like Michigan. I mean, they shot 70% from three. That's ridiculous.
And they were so bad in the first half.
Yeah. And a lot of that was thanks to the defense. The defense was really, really good. It was,
but I also thought they missed open shots in the first half.
They did. They missed some open looks.
They shot 28% in the first half.
Yeah. I mean, they just it's so frustrating as for a team when you've got literally everybody on the floor for Michigan State was
making
just
shots.
Couldn't miss.
AJ, this is a little side note. AJ Hogard, their really good guard, had 14 assists. It's the most by a Spartan since a guy named Magic Johnson.
Wow.
14 assists in a game is really racking it up. That's a quality team, and they played great at Iowa. That game was wild on Saturday. They shot really well over there. So that's a team that's kind of feeling it right now. And, hey, Nebraska might face them again next week in Chicago. The way we don't even really know how the bracket's going to fall. There's too many combinations that could happen between now and Sunday night when the regular season ends. That could be a second-round matchup for Nebraska to play them again.
It's crazy how much it's coming down to the final games, and not just from the top to the bottom. It's still, we can't even speculate when and how and who might be in the way of Nebraska, but hopefully they get a favorable matchup that they can handle, because I think now without winning that one, and I think it's going to be tough at Iowa, they're going to need to string some wins.
Did you see what they did last night?
Yeah, they looked unbelievable.
Holy moly.
Yeah, at Indiana.
They're playing really well. So that's going to be a tough game for the Huskers on Sunday. But last night, for about an hour and a half, it was a lot of fun at PBA.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope that doesn't deflate the Huskers too much and they have some fight left in them because I think they can make some noise in Chicago next week.
Red Panda brought down the house,
That's
too.
the best. That's the best act. Isn't that great?
It never gets old.
No,
I mean,
it
I've
doesn't.
seen her like 3 times this season already, and I've seen her probably, I don't know, 50 times in my lifetime.
Yeah, you're still mesmerized by watching that. Women's tournament began today. A couple really close games. Penn State survived. Rutgers a winner. So the 2 higher seeds won today. Both very competitive games. Huskers will play tomorrow at 11:30 against Michigan State. I think this will be tight. It was really close when they played here a couple weeks ago. I think it'll be a tight game. Huskers, I think, have to win that game to give themselves a shot to make the NCAA tournament.
Michigan State was a game that they had a bunch of turnovers, right?
It was.
Yeah, they threw it away. Yeah. So I think they'll learn from it, and I expect the Huskers to come out and play well. But this is another big win. They're still firmly on that bubble.
They are.
And they need this win. They have to get this win.
11:30 for that tomorrow. Folks, did you have a chance to see the social media post of the Husker football conditioning today? They were playing like tug of war with each one, and they got a couple of the coaches involved in doing that. It looked like, one, the competitiveness was great. All the guys were hooting and hollering and shouting, particularly when the coaches were taking their turns, grabbing kind of a, I don't know how to describe it, it's kind of like a big Frisbee, like a big styrofoam Frisbee thing that they were pulling back and forth with each other.
Well, they've been doing the rope tug of wars from the start, and that I've seen some videos of that, and they have team Reimer versus Team Fedoni.
Yep.
And it gets pretty amped, and again, just getting that competitive juice going, because this time is a grind and it can be hard. And I know the workouts are hard and they are not taking it easy. They're trying to establish a culture, a mindset. And so just any little thing that you can differentiate from just the everyday grind and going back to that competitiveness, and you're still competing, the guys are loving it. It's a fun way to still get something accomplished, but get those competitive juices going and do something different. But then the coach is getting involved. I actually haven't seen that video, but
it's about 2 minutes long, but it's worth your time because it's a lot of fun.
Who was it? Who was the coach?
I think it was Evan Cooper going against Garrett McGuire. It was one of the matchups, and I think it was a couple of the strength coaches were doing it. But Fedoni was highlighted in there. He won his little tug-of-war thing.
He looks like a monster. He looks good.
Jessica, this was a 5-star tight end from high school that just has not stayed healthy for 2 years.
Hopefully, and maybe part of it too is that I know that he had the kind of the freak accident in spring football last year, but then all throughout the fall, we heard, oh, he's close. And maybe his patience was part of it. Maybe he was pushing it a little too much, but hopefully now that, he's the new staff and he seems to be full strength and going to 100% right now. So, hopefully he can stay healthy.
He could be
and
a
they
huge
need, that's
weapon.
A position that they need.
Could be a huge weapon for the Huskers moving forward. We've had some people ask about spring game ticket update. Mid-40s, about 44,000 tickets have been sold for the spring game. I maintain a lot of people are going to wait and see that 2-week out forecast and see if it looks pretty good on April the 22nd before they buy their tickets. So if you're still thinking about it, there are tickets available for you to come watch the red-white spring scrimmage on April the 22nd. We are 3 weeks out from spring practices beginning. We have about 9 more days before spring break launches, and then it's going to be onto the practice field for this team. I know they're looking forward to getting out and probably getting away from the weight room and getting out and actually having a football within their sight. All right, Trev Albert's going to join us here in a couple minutes. We'll talk to him. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. We're back with the athletic director for the Huskers. That's coming up.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. For Nebraska soybean farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices. And they have significant sustainability goals by 2025. 10% more energy efficiency, 10% less land, and 25% less soil erosion. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
You ain't seen nothing. This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're a fan, you wear your team's jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. After a win, your world glistens. Lose, and the hurt permeates your soul. You'll always have a place with us in the Cox Fan Zone, where everyone can play and connect with other fans in a big group hug. See, in the Fan Zone, you're not some crazy fan. You're home.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe, voice of the Huskers. Say Fan Zone into your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Huskers.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
You ain't seen nothing. This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Husker fans, don't miss your chance to get a first look at new head coach Matt Rule and the 2023 Husker football team. Be in Memorial Stadium on Saturday, April 22nd for the annual Nebraska football red and white spring game presented by FNBO. Tickets are on sale now and are only $10 when purchased in advance and $20 on the day of the game. To secure your tickets today or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined by Athletic Director Trev Alberts. Great to see you. It's been a hectic time. We got all kinds of sports going on and a lot of Husker winning happening right now.
Yeah, it's been an awful lot of fun, you know, to watch our student athletes compete at such a high level and see our coaches who put in so much effort and work. You know, it feels like we have a little momentum right now, and it's it's a fun thing to be a part of. As you know, Greg, I mean, we've got just a great group of people here. We really do in our athletic department. There's a lot of wonderful human beings, and I think everybody's pulling hard in the same direction, and I think it's great to see our coaches and student athletes being rewarded a little bit. You know, they work hard.
The women had their final home game Sunday. The men had their final home game last night. Great crowds coming down the stretch. And particularly on the men's side, people have really kind of wrapped their arms around this team the way they play.
Well, it's hard not to, you know, and first of all, I always want to thank the fans. You know, we can get a little bit spoiled and entitled that they just keep showing up, but, you know, I think it's really indicative of what we talk about all the time with our coaches. Like our fans do not, of course they want to win every game. We want to win every time we compete, but that's not really the point. It's how you compete. It's how you play, what you look like. And as long as we have the same ideals and, you know, philosophical approach to competing that is reflective of the values of Nebraskans and the way they live their life, I think that's why they keep showing up. And I think by and large our coaches have really embraced having teams that compete hard, they're tough, they're a team. It's we over I, all those kinds of things that are really important, and we never ever quit, never give up. I mean, we've been down before by 17 points and found a way. You know, that's Nebraska athletics. It's grit, it's toughness, and I hope that's what our culture is like across the board, not just with our student athletes and coaches, but administration. That's who we have to be. That has to be our culture.
Women set an attendance record a couple weeks ago, breaking the mark here in Nebraska. You were at the men's game on Saturday. Keisei's parents flew all the way from Japan to be in the gym, and the fans were just loving them. So, I'm sure you just sit back and look around and kind of smile a little bit.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, to get to see the parents who make that effort. You know, I got to go to the women's game, and you know, I got to see Jazz and Izzy, and they had family in town. I got to meet them as well. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you strip away all the competition. These are human beings. These are young people. They have families, and they love their. But you know, to see Keisei's family come in, and just to see the way that the fans really embraced them. Every time we showed them on the big screen, you know, the fans went nuts, and so I think that's part of what. You know, again, our culture is, as you know, you bring prospective recruits in town and you see our fan base and how they embrace not just the players but the families. And this is part of a family. This is the Husker family. It's a special place to be a part of.
March, a great month. You've got the women's tournament starts going up in Minneapolis. Good luck to Amy's team. The men will be in Chicago next week. It's a fun time, and I'm sure that's a chance for you to probably see some of your colleagues around the Big Ten. A lot of people show up at those tournaments.
Yeah, we'll have meetings wrapped around those, Greg. You know, I mean, this is it's an unsettling time for a lot of us. I mean, especially when you think about the Big Ten. We're having a transition now in terms of leadership, and I know that the presidents and chancellors and there's a search committee working hard on that. But so much at stake in the sense of what our future looks like in intercollegiate athletics, and some of the changes, a lot of the legal challenges that the NCAA has been dealing with. You've seen some of that sort of moving forward. Some of that's gotten some attention, and so the college football playoff is expanding to 12 teams and what that all looks like. So there's just a lot on the docket, and but my real focus has been to not forget about what's important right here at home. And so we got to continue doing that work and participate where we can with our colleagues to ensure that the Big Ten's as well positioned as we can make it long term as we look at the way college athletics transitions.
Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop. You absolutely obliterated the universe last Friday, the social media world, with the announcement of moving a volleyball match inside of Memorial Stadium. How in the world did this all come together?
Well, you know, I have been known to be accused of being a little too competitive at times, and frankly, it is one of my chief strengths. It's also a chief weakness if it's not controlled. But you know, we love volleyball in the state of Nebraska, and obviously a lot of other states do as well. And so, for various reasons, the attendance record is a challenge for us based on what our capacity is. So we started thinking crazy ideas. And, we're going to have to think like this, more broadly, not just volleyball. We're going to have to think entrepreneurially. We're going to have to, we run a very sophisticated business, so finding new revenue streams in entrepreneurial ways is going to be important to us long term. But I just thought, as you look at John, you look at his team, you look at what he's accomplished, 5 national championships, and it's not just the University of Nebraska, but when you go all the way back and see what Terry Pettit did and how, when the University of Nebraska made a commitment for volleyball, you look what's happened in our state. I mean, there's literally every college in the state of Nebraska has had high level of success. Doesn't matter if it's at the NAIA level, Division II, Division I. And I said, it's time for us to celebrate that. We just came off of 50 years of celebrating Title IX, the impact of women in our state. And so, let's have a celebration. Oh, by the way, the outcome will be that we're going to break the all-time attendance record. But I think there's much more to it than that. It's not just about breaking the record. It's about, and we're going to work with all these participating schools, is we got to find these stories that we can tell about men and women across our state, high school coaches, club coaches, who really made an impact on volleyball. And young women in the state of Nebraska now, when they're young, grow up dreaming of playing volleyball for the Huskers. And this is a way we, as the flagship university, can give back and help support financially some of the other institutions. And so we're honored to get to do that, and I'm just really grateful to Coach Cook. It is a risk, let's be honest. It's a big risk, and we're pushing ourselves on this. There's a weather risk, and other things, but we're going to continue to dream big like John always challenges us to do, and I think mostly it's just going to be a fabulous celebration for Husker fans and fans of volleyball all across the state.
I thought it was great to have the governor involved, and then the way you've been able to weave in Kearney and Wayne State and UNO. I just think the whole thing was fabulous.
Well, we can be a great partner. I mean, we're all part of the same system, right? We're the University of Nebraska. And we happen to have 4 campuses, and Wayne State's part of the state of Nebraska system. So it's great to get to partner with them. They've all been wonderful, administration and head coaches, and we'll figure it all out. But we're going to do this right. This will be a full football production for the outdoor volleyball game. And so I really encourage our fans. I'm pleading with our fans. I respectfully request, demand's a little too strong. But we need volleyball fans to show up in a big way, and let's blow this thing out of the water.
What's the reaction been since Friday?
Well, it's been incredible. There have been some that said, are you serious? Like, really? And, of course, then we've had a lot of others who said, hey, how can we get in on this? We'd love to play. We'll come at 9. We'll come at 10. So we'll see, if we can more broadly impact more folks, but obviously we're making a financial commitment to the schools, and so we don't want to do this where we're losing money, but we'll see what we can do. We need to do the very best we can, Greg, to celebrate volleyball, impact as many people as we can, and just have a positive experience for as many people as we can.
Cannot wait. It's going to be fabulous. August 30th is the date, folks. Keep it on your calendar. Information about tickets will be coming soon. Mentioned March Madness, a great month for college basketball. It's also Madness with wrestling getting going. Big Ten championships this weekend. I know Husker attendance has been up for Mark Manning's team this year. They've had a really good season. He's had a great season, and he's wrestled some young men that early on in the season weren't wrestling, and they've come in and done a great job as well. Yeah, I mean, Husker fans continue to show out as well. I think Mark's, this has been one of his better coaching jobs he's ever done. I mean, when you look at where they are today, and I know a lot of folks will say, well, you got Penn State, and it's going to be pretty tough to get past them or Iowa, but I like our wrestling program. Mark has built this thing, and they're right there. And, we've got a couple wrestlers that are undefeated. They had a chance to win a Big Ten championship and maybe a national championship, and so really proud of where wrestling is as a program. Should be fun to follow in the coming weeks for that sport. We got a home baseball game in about a week. Are you ready for that out of Haymarket Park? I am ready for the sun. I am ready for snow to be gone. And but no, it was nice to see Will and his team kind of rebound this past weekend, get the sweep, and gain a little bit of confidence. And so it'll be great to get them. Of course, we've got the new field out there, and so some new turf and a little better environment out in the field. So looking forward, both baseball and softball. Rhonda had a great week as well, and I think the one loss was to a top 10 team. So both of those programs making good progress and have a great chance of having great seasons. You had an announcement about a week ago that you stripped the interim tag off of Justin St. Clair as track and field. He then went out. The men finished second at the Big Ten Indoor. The women also did very, very well at the Big Ten Indoor. Take me through your thought process of taking the tag off of Justin.
Well, anytime you're trying to replace somebody that's as much of a legend as Gary Pepin, you have to be really careful. Those are tough shoes to follow. Gary did such an amazing job for us for so many years. And so just for timing and other reasons, it didn't make sense for me to try to go out and do a national search. And so we named Justin the interim coach. And I kind of thought what would happen actually did happen. He did an amazing job. I mean, the way that he built that culture, I've had student athletes come to me, in fact, parents, who just have been so supportive of Justin. And I think if we wouldn't have taken the interim tag off, we'd have had some really upset student athletes and families. And so he just, his attention to detail, his professionalism, you can really see it impact those young men and young women, and I would not be surprised at all. I know they got second. I would not be surprised at all. Once we get into the outdoor season, you'll see both of them finish even higher. They're really set up well.
Very good. Congratulations to Justin St. Clair. Nice gentleman as well.
Yes.
All right, March is here. Basketball going. I haven't even asked you a football question yet. We're 10 minutes into this thing. You happy with spring game ticket sales going on? And just what are your impressions of the last month?
Yeah, we're really happy. I think we're at about 45,000 right now, which I think is really good. That number will continue to rise, and we need to get that closer to a sellout as well. Again, I continue to be very, very pleased and impressed with Coach Rule and his staff. I've said this multiple times, but Matt continues to surround himself with really good people that are really reflective of what he believes in. These are hard workers. I love what they're doing, using all of the tools to their advantage. They've done a great job on social media, and I know for old people like me sometimes don't understand it, but with this generation and recruiting, I think it's been great. Been really, really good. I think his effort across the state, and I think again what's so meaningful to Nebraskans is when we hire people and they come in to really value and respect Nebraskans and to treat them a certain way. And so the way that Matt and his staff have really engaged all across our state, high school coaches, all across the state, all the different high school athletic associations, spending their time, getting involved in the community. I was just at the Team Jack deal this past weekend and see Coach Rule there and a whole table full of assistant coaches and wives, really engaging in the community. It's a really important thing to Nebraskans. And so I haven't won any games yet. We also haven't lost any games, but he's done everything right so far, and I'm really grateful that he's our coach.
Young men are working really hard. I'm seeing water jugs being carried all over the place. They're in winter conditioning, which I know is your favorite part of the football counter. And before you know it, spring practice is going to be here.
Well, I can't wait for spring ball. I mean, spring ball is where you find out who's going to play in the fall. That's where spring ball always was and needs to be. So I anticipate a pretty physical spring. And the beauty, anytime you have a new coach and new coaching staff, it doesn't matter where you were on the depth chart with the previous staff. I mean, everybody should view this as an opportunity. It's a real opportunity to impress a new staff. Positions are wide open, and so I think it'll be highly competitive. I think it'll be physical, and I think at the spring game our fans will get an opportunity to see a new look Nebraska football team that might engage a little bit differently than what we've previously been used to.
Very good. April 22nd, folks. Keep it on that calendar. If you haven't got your tickets yet, still plenty available for you to come watch Matt Rule's Huskers in that red-white spring scrimmage. All right, March is here. Enjoy the madness. Let's hope we have some good results for Coach Williams, Coach Hoiberg coming up in the coming weeks.
Thank you.
Trev Albert's with us here tonight on Sports Nightly. Our visit with Trev is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. More Sports Nightly coming up.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. Husker students on the debate team and Bateman competition public relations team earned national championships this past year, marking a first for each program. The debate team claimed victory with one of the youngest teams in the country, while the Bateman competition public relations team won their championship by building a PR campaign for the Lymphoma Research Foundation.
That flips it ahead. Huskers have 5-on-4. Maddie Kroll drives on Peebles. Reverse layup. Good! Maddie Kroll with a great finish, and she's got 11.
Tomorrow, join Matt Coatney and Jeff Griesch for full coverage of Nebraska women's basketball at the Big Ten tournament. The Huskers are set to face off against the Michigan State Spartans, with pregame coverage beginning at 11:15 a.m. right here on the HRN. Tune in to your local affiliates or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. It's the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. What do you think of the casual look from our athletic director? Kind of liked it.
Yeah, I did. I like the glasses. I mean, normally he's in here for an hour, but has a lot going on. So at least he stopped in to give us an update on everything. But he gave us a lot of good info. You packed a lot of stuff into that segment.
45,000 tickets sold for the spring game. That's good.
Yes. The record is what for a spring game?
Sold out, like 85.
Okay. That was Scott's first year,
yeah,
right?
I think so. But and again, the stadium, the east balcony is being reconfigured right now.
Yeah,
so
I walked out there right now. There's no seats up there.
So I don't think we can even maybe get to 80. But I think once people see our practice report start in a few weeks, you start getting a little fever going, you're going to go buy those tickets.
I mean, do you know how many programs in America would love to have 45,000 total? Would kill to have that. I mean, how many times you turn on BTN and watch spring games and it is just empty stadiums? So the fact that there's already 45,000 pre-sold, 2 months or a month and a half out?
Pretty good.
50 days?
50 days. This is March 1st, April 22nd. Yeah, about 50 days.
A little under 2 months.
Dennis on our text line, on this volleyball match at the stadium, do you think tailgaters will be allowed in the parking lots around the stadium? That's a great question, Dennis, and I don't have the answer. I'm going to ask some people, but you're going to have classes going on that day, but they're going to have to open up something at some point in time for people to come and park for that. So I'll get back to you. I don't know.
Definitely would think that they'd have some kind of tailgating scene happening, especially because, with the concert, when Garth was here, there were tailgaters all over the place. So since there's a concert happening, you'd think that they'd kind of allow the same thing to happen.
I would think.
Who's
the artist? Come on. I think you know.
I do know, but I think I know.
I don't know.
You were in a meeting the other day. We were talking about it.
Cole, do you know?
Cole wasn't in that meeting. You were in that meeting.
Missed. That was just, I think, speculation.
Oh, it was.
I don't think that was.
I don't know who it is then.
I don't think that was for real.
Oh.
I don't think so. Art in Los Angeles, my good buddy Art, said moving volleyball match to stadium is a great idea. How about playing basketball on a golf course or on a ship?
The ships happen, they do it every year on Veterans Day, right?
Yeah.
Veterans Day.
I think Michigan State's played in it before.
They do it every year on ESPN. They have a big deal. I think they usually play 2 games on a Navy ship out in the middle of the sea, and it's really cool.
There's no way you could risk playing a basketball game in Nebraska in November. You couldn't.
No.
We might have snow on the court.
Yeah.
Here for that.
My dad, I was texting him about, he's like, well, it's going to be hot. But, and then I was thinking, too, because a couple people have asked me questions about playing volleyball outside. But, I mean, you play beach outside a lot of times. Volleyball is a sport that you play outside.
You do.
So you can battle the windy elements.
You do. In fact, the Huskers had an indoor sand match today, beach match, I think is what the technical term is. But they're headed to Alabama, and then they go across the pond to Hawaii to play outside in the coming weeks. I still think we need to get on that assignment.
I know. I'm waiting for the call.
Wherever that thing is, Queens Beach, I think is what it's called in Honolulu. John in Omaha said, I'm not going to make any direct comparisons, but I just want to say how much I appreciate the fact that Coach Hoiberg never embarrasses our team. I see some of the antics around the country. I'm so grateful we have such a class act. Go Big Red.
Around the country or the next state over?
Yeah.
Iowa.
The Fran meter. The stare down was embarrassing, I thought, the other night.
My brother's a Division I college basketball referee. I've said that on this program before. And he said he loved the referee stepping up to him and getting right back at him. And he's like, it's a win for referees everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. If he just would have stood there, by him taking one step forward to go, I'm not backing down, Fran. I know you didn't like the call, but I'm not going to back down. I think that was great. So
he said, I love this. When the ref stepped towards him, unbothered, a win for all officials.
Tom Izzo bothers a lot of people, Jessica. He doesn't bother me because I'm kind of okay with that hard line coach, but he does bother a lot of people.
He gets all up out on the court, and he can be pretty animated, and obviously he's a big figure, a big name, so he is getting some boos from Husker fans. They wanted him to get a tee. They were calling for tees multiple times. But, that's part of it, too. I think officials know what these officials have called these games, these coaches, so many times. They know how to handle the antics, and, for the most part, I think they'll allow for, even Coach Williams got teed up the other day. Amy Williams, she gets on some officials. But, she's very good about if they tell her, hey, calm down a little bit or back off a little bit. She does that. I mean, I think they know going into it what they're managing in terms of coaching and how much they're going to allow for that leash to happen before they have to pull the trigger with the technical.
I will say, I don't know, Izzo's on the top of our minds. We played him last night. He's probably one of the most respected coaches in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Other coaches, including Coach Hoiberg, really think highly of Tom Izzo.
I asked Coach Hoiberg because, there was a study that came out a few years ago, and they polled, I think it was college football coaches, who would you most want your son to go play for? I think it was college basketball coaches, because it was with Lon Kruger, and Lon Kruger was on that list. And, he had talked about how that's like the ultimate compliment if somebody says, I want my son to play for you. And so I asked Coach Hoiberg on the show, one of the shows that you were out, and I said, because he had spoken so highly of Tom Izzo, and that was who he said that would be at the top of his list of who he would want, which one of his sons did. But the fact that he's still at the top of his list, that he thought that much about Jack's time under Izzo, that he's still, right there at the top of his list for who he would want his sons to play for, I think speaks volumes. Because Coach Hoiberg is as good as they get. I mean, he is a nice man, a nice human being, kind as can be, is very, very well respected in the profession. I think a lot of coaches would like for their sons to play for Coach Hoiberg.
No doubt.
So I think Coach Izzo would take that as a huge compliment that Coach Hoiberg said that about him.
A couple years ago in the NCAA tournament, Tom Izzo was getting after one of his players, and he'll get in the face of his players. And he got a lot of criticism, like, you're a white man, you cannot scream at an African-American player like that. And there was a lot of national media kind of going down that path. And Draymond Green, who's not the most quiet person at all, and played for Tom Izzo, man, did he come to Tom Izzo's defense. He goes, absolutely not. Coach Izzo loves his players. They know he loves them, but he's trying to make them better, and that's why he's yelling at the kid.
It's another one of those coaches that you have to appreciate the longevity of his success, because he has stayed evolving, but yet the players still run through a brick wall for him, and he consistently gets teams in the NCAA tournament. He consistently has teams that, are competing at the top of the Big Ten, one of the toughest conferences in college basketball. And so you have to respect what he's done over the longevity of it, because that's not easy to do. A lot of coaches can't do that, haven't done that. And so, obviously he's doing something right, and he still is getting talent after talent that comes to play for him. So, I mean, I wouldn't buy too much into that as far as, because, I mean, look at the guys still lining up to come play for him.
No doubt. 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. First Interstate Bank, built for you. Learn more at www.firstinterstatebank.com, member FDIC. When we come back, Sam will answer your question from the text line. That's next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Looking for a car buying experience tailored to you? Start with Woodhouse, a trusted partner for automotive needs and a proud member of the Nebraska community. With 18 brands and 21 sales and service locations, our dedicated Woodhouse team is ready to provide you a convenient and seamless transaction from anywhere. Whether purchasing, selling, or servicing, experience the difference with Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
That's my neighbor, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a very big mistake. Hey, Joe, you think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have your underground utilities marked before you start digging?
John, that's just for big projects.
Actually, it's for any digging project. Hey, congratulations, Joe. You found your electric line. Remember, safe digging always begins with a free call to 811. You want to borrow my phone, buddy?
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you were looking for with Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It's a Wednesday night, 402-413-2400. Let's go to the phones. Rob is up next. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening. Thanks for taking my call tonight. I just wanted to make the comment listening to Athletic Director Trev Alberts there, and he made the comment about he, as well as other Husker coaches, staff, making and being in attendance at the Team Jack Gala this last weekend. And we were in attendance as well. Our son is a cancer survivor. Sorry.
Take your time.
But that really means a lot to have Husker Nation stand with these kids. There are many, many kids that shouldn't be going through what they're going through.
Well, Rob, I'll pass that along to Trev, that it meant that to you, and our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. And I've been a part of that banquet in the past, and the wonderful work that the Hoffman family has done, and they've obviously dealt with a lot of tragedies themselves of their own life, but I will pass your comments on to Trev. What a great event. I know Alex Smith was the keynote. Kenny Bell made his way back. Luke Gifford was back from his time with the Cowboys. Great cause, and you're absolutely right. Cancer should not be affecting the youngest of our generations, and it's just a horrible thing to happen. But with good folks like the Team Jack people raising money for that, maybe we'll get a cure someday.
Yeah, thanks for the call. It's just such a reminder, and I know that Nebraska, it's near and dear to their heart, the Team Jack Foundation, and they do a lot to be involved, and it means a lot for them to help in any way they can. And it's been an honor and a privilege for me to kind of be around it a little bit over these last couple of years, and hopefully, again, with all the support. And, we have the Team Jack call-a-thon right here on these networks.
Right.
And, with all the continued research and funding and all of that, hopefully one of these days we will find a cure and we won't have to have these conversations anymore.
Amen to that. Again, KLIN, our great affiliate here in Lincoln, is a big backer of the Team Jack Radiothon, which, as Jessica mentioned, we run that through the network every year as well. What a great cause. What a great thing. I've only been able to go to the banquet once or twice because it usually coincides with my baseball travel, but great work being done there for everybody. Hey, folks, buckle up. Put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Wow, fast hour. Thank you for being a part of this hour. Coming up next hour, we'll play a little snippet of the latest Kicking Back with the Cooks. I think it dropped about 2 hours ago. So we'll play a little bit of it, not the full podcast, but a little bit of it. And baseball coach Will Bolt will be here as well. Come on back. Hour 2 next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Flips it ahead. Huskers have 5-on-4. Matty Kroll drives on Peebles. Reverse layup. Good. Maddie Kroll with a great finish, and she's got 11.
Tomorrow, join Matt Coatney and Jeff Griesch for full coverage of Nebraska women's basketball at the Big Ten tournament. The Huskers are set to face off against the Michigan State Spartans, with pregame coverage beginning at 11:15 a.m. right here on the HRN. Tune in to your local affiliates or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns for teachers.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card. Free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Big Ten Women's Tournament got underway today. The play-in games, Penn State defeated Minnesota in the 12-13 matchup 72-67. Rutgers held off 14-seeded Northwestern. Good game, 63-59. The Huskers will open up their tournament tomorrow, 11:30, against Michigan State. Our pregame coverage begins at 11:15. Tonight in Big Ten men's hoops, 21st-ranked Maryland losing at Ohio State at the half, 35-29. Later tonight, Penn State visits Northwestern. A couple of nice honors for Husker men's and women's tennis. Men's tennis player Shinyani Maruyama was named today as the Big Ten's Athlete of the Week. Maruyama went 2-0 last week with victories over Alabama in both singles and doubles. And on the women's side, Samantha Alicia was tabbed as the Big Ten's Women's Athlete of the Week. She went 6-0, winning 3 singles matches and 3 doubles matches over the weekend. Our ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? Well, if so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Get ready now for hour number 2 of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
First pitch to Josh. Breaking ball hammered to left. That is absolutely crushed. Way out of here over the hitting facility in left field.
Now the Huskers were scrambled. Here's Shelley for 3, top of the key. You betcha! Jazz Shelley with a triple.
Gracel with a basketball, drives the ball all the way to the hoop, puts it up and in! Holy smokes! Holy cow! Sam Gracel puts Nebraska ahead by 1.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
We're back, hour number 2, Sports Sunday. We're going to play a little bit of the latest podcast, Kicking Back with the Cooks. Lauren Cook interviews her dad, Husker volleyball coach John Cook. We'll have that for you here in a couple of minutes, and I'll talk some baseball with the head coach, Will Bolt. Huskers getting ready to go to Minneapolis to play indoors this weekend at U.S. Bank Stadium against Vanderbilt, Hawaii, and Ole Miss. But before we get into some of that, we got some text to clean up here. Sam in Omaha, what sport would you guys be referees in?
I mean, I wouldn't. I, again, have a brother that does it. My dad did it. I want no part of that, hearing their stories. I mean, there was one time my dad had to lock us in. We had gone with him, and the fans stormed the officials' room, and we had to be locked in the bathroom. I mean, there's just some wild stories.
I know, it's
I
crazy.
want no part of reffing, but maybe I would be like a rules official for golf, be on the golf course and, like, judge if you have to take a drop or
That's a good one.
You know, something like that.
That's a good one.
Or like determining the lie. I mean, you have to know your stuff, and you have to do a lot of studying, but it'd be fun to be out on the course all day. So maybe I'd do that.
Little really odd rulings in golf.
Yes. And some of it's subjective, and I mean, but probably that I would go with that. And you don't see golfers really getting angry.
No.
Or
Not
people
too
getting
often.
angry or yelling at the
Patrick
officials.
Reed.
Yeah, true.
He's got.
But he's mad at everybody and everything, and he's mad at the person taking a photo in the gallery.
Yes,
And he's mad at the people drinking beer on the side. I mean, he's mad at everything. But maybe because you don't see people get angry at the officials in golf.
I have done some basketball officiating. Obviously, little tykes and that type of thing. That's the highest level. I think I'd be pretty good at one of those line judges in tennis. Out. I think I'd be pretty good at that.
I thought you might go with tennis too.
Doug in Norfolk, are there any rumors about a possible replacement for Kevin Warren as Big Ten commissioner? How soon do you think they will act? Trev kind of alluded to that last hour, that it's an unsettling time in the league right now because Kevin Warren is going to leave in about 30 days, and I think that they're in the process of trying to find somebody. But I'd be hesitant to put a timetable. I don't know. Maybe the next 60 days they get somebody. I don't really know where to guess.
I mean, you'd think that they wouldn't want to go too long without having somebody in that role or even serving as the interim with all the changing things that are happening and all the moving parts and the fluidity of literally everything in college sports right now. And I mean, there's talks of more realignment happening. I mean, so you want to have somebody in that spot pretty quickly. By the way, I'm surprised you didn't say curling.
I don't know how you officiate that. I mean, it's I think
judge if they cross the line or something.
I think they kind of do it themselves. I think they kind of all take. I don't even know if they have. I'm sure there is some kind of an official, but it looks like they kind of manage it themselves.
True.
The players do for that.
You might be a certain time where you have to judge if somebody doesn't let go of the thing quick enough.
The rock. It's a rock. It's called a rock.
The ditty.
It's not a ditty. It's a rock. Some questions in the chat room about how beach volleyball works. We did have Jalen Reyes on a week ago. They have 6 matches. You play in pairs, so it's you and somebody else that pair up. And as Jalen said, when you score it, they go and you put like your best team is number 1, your next best team is number 2, all the way down to number 6. And he goes, what they do is the first 3 matches out of the gate are 2, 4, and 6, and then they come back with 1, 3, and 5. And so it could be at least the second batch, you get some. It could be over after match 4, but he says you don't want the 5 and 6 teams to never get a match that counts.
But the scoring is kind of the same. I think they go to 15.
21.
Oh, they do go to 21. In the Olympics, is it 15? I don't know. I can't. But it's kind of the same.
Remember.
It's there's a lot more scoring. I feel like. I mean, not as much rallies that happen.
Right.
Because
it's shorter points because just 2 of you out there. But it's really good. It helps you learn how to bump and a little bit of setting. And so
obviously it's a
good.
great workout.
It's a great workout. And I'm sure Lexi's pretty good at it. She's probably pretty good at digging about anything that's hit her way.
Oh, yeah. She's the number 1 team, right? With Becca.
Is it her and Becca, I think?
That's a good team right there.
That'd be pretty good, yeah. Well, speaking of volleyball, the latest edition of the Kicking Back with the Cooks has dropped a couple of hours ago. We're going to play a little bit of it. This is Coach Cook reacting to the big announcement made last Friday about moving a match next August inside the stadium to try to set the attendance record. Here, let's listen into part of that.
Coach Cook, I'll let you take it from here. This will cover your confession and lesson for this month because this is such a major announcement, but I will let you take it from here.
Well, we lost the attendance record to Wisconsin, and I've got my athletic director's pretty fiery, so we talked about, how could we break that? Well, everybody says go to PBA. PBA is not big enough. And then, we could go to Omaha, but I don't know if that's big enough, but it's really not on our campus, so that really doesn't count. So bottom line is, how can we get a huge crowd for volleyball? And anyway, this kept evolving and evolving, and so the announcement is going to be, and everybody will hear about it, is we're going to do a celebration of volleyball in this state. And we're going to start off with Wayne State and Nebraska-Kearney are going to play each other first. We're going to build a court in the north end zone of the stadium. And so we could potentially get, 80,000 people, 90,000 people in there. But the court, I think, is going to kind of be at that end, north end zone, is what I'm hearing. They're actually going to build a stage, and we'll be on that stage, so it's going to be pretty cool, just like Garth Brooks' concert. And then we'll play Nebraska-Omaha afterward. And then after that is going to be, to continue the celebration, will be a big concert, which we can't name who it is, but I think it could be one heck of an evening. With volleyball, a concert, and what's really cool, and again, Trev has come up with a lot of these ideas. We're going to give back, share the proceeds with Nebraska-Omaha and Kearney and Wayne State. So their budgets are going to get a big influx from this event. And then all the students from all those universities get in free. And that means they can get in free and then go to the concert for free. And it'll be on August 29th. And so that week, it's going to be a pretty cool week, because on Tuesday, Luke Bryan is in PBA. Wednesday, we're doing a celebration for volleyball. And again, it's a big match, but it's also a celebration of volleyball and how it's a state treasure here. And then the concert. And then the next night, Thursday the 30th, will be football's home opener it's at Minnesota, so Matt Rule's first opening. So that's going to be a great week for sports. We just have to keep our fingers crossed that the weather's good. And I remember a few years ago when we had a football game get canceled. So who knows in Nebraska, but we'll think positive, and we have a nice evening. I just remember the Garth Brooks concert a couple years ago was a beautiful evening. I mean, it would have been a great night to play volleyball. He had a great concert that night. And so anyway, we're going to go for it. It's Nebraska, and we want everybody to participate in this and support these student athletes and make it a celebration and do something that's never been done before. I think Big Ten Network is really excited about this opportunity. And again, we're just continuing to dream big.
If for some reason weather is a factor, do you have a backup plan?
The backup plan will be we'll just move the matches indoor to Devaney. That's about the best thing we could do would be the easiest, because it could be maybe we know the night before, like, this isn't going to work. Maybe that day, who knows, maybe it goes up to game time like a baseball game. So that'll be the backup plan to do that. And I think it'll be a mad dash. The first 8,000 people that can sprint over there get in. So,
oh my gosh.
I don't know how that's going to work, but it's that's one of the risks we got to take. And if we don't do it and don't build this thing, and we'd never know anyway. And so it's worth it. And I think our fans will understand if it's like a baseball game. If it gets rained out, then that was tough, because it's not like it'd be really hard to reschedule it and the concert and everything. So we guys got to hope for a good weather.
Well, Husker fans, start sending your positive vibes for the weather on August 29th, which seems like a long ways away, but it will be here before you know it.
It definitely will. I mean, like a flash, it'll be here.
He worries too much.
I mean, what could go wrong in August?
It might happen, but you also could it could be really, really hot. Like you said, they're used to playing in beach seasoned outdoors, and they're conditioned athletes. They'll be fine.
I think they won't care what it is. And how cool of an opportunity for our Husker student athletes, but all the athletes that are playing in this, and to be a part of like history. And if they get that record, they will get that record. I mean, it's not getting touched.
I told Trev, too, in the last hour, I go, really cool that you've included some small colleges.
Yes.
What a thrill for them to be a part of that stage, too.
Absolutely. And I mean, how many times have we heard Coach Cook talk about the quality of volleyball in this state, from top to bottom, high school, all levels of college? I mean, it is a volleyball state. And so to involve multiple colleges, to be able to be involved in it, what a neat opportunity. And I think it's kind of funny to me that literally, how long did we wait for the record to be taken before we're making plans to get it right back?
And Trev said it's
him. Because he was
him.
mad about it immediately when it happened.
He was not happy, but Trev said it. He goes, this is me. He goes, I got mad at the Wisconsin AD making a comment to me.
Oh, he did?
Uh-huh.
What did he say?
Just
bragging about it?
Yeah, we took it away from you. And Trev's like, yeah, we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, I mean, he's so competitive, obviously. Like, you can watch him on the sidelines and see how competitive. He wants to win and everything. But when that talk started happening, I think he had a show here, and he was... I mean, it was like immediate. It was like a couple days after.
The
he's
wheels
like,
were turning.
How are we going to get it back?
Yeah.
And like realizing that PBA wasn't going to be big enough, and what can we do? I mean, that's not an easy event to pull together in this short of time. Like, you're talking a couple of months. Like, was it October, November when that happened?
It was in October.
End of October. And so November, December, January, like 3 months that you pulled this thing together. So, I mean, that's impressive.
Pretty cool. Should be fun.
Don't make the AD mad.
I don't think you and I
don't challenge the AD of Nebraska.
I don't think you and I will be there. We'll probably be with the football team in Minneapolis that night, getting ready for the opening game for Matt
It'll
Rural.
be on TV, I'm sure.
It will be. I'm sure BTN will carry it.
That will be one of the first things they'll want to get that on.
No doubt.
On
no
air.
doubt.
Which they do a good job anyways, but that will be a priority. Shoot, I bet even with the new networks and all of that, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these other other media outlets come in, because I mean, you're talking about putting a volleyball game in Memorial Stadium and Nebraska volleyball at that. I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually a bidding war for this broadcast.
Like a Peacock stream or something of that thing?
Well, I mean, Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, you're right. It could be.
I mean, I know that there are some Friday night games, but
this is a Wednesday.
Oh yeah, Wednesday.
It's a midweek thing.
So
put it in prime time. I mean, you're right. Dare to dream big. You gonna go watch any high school girls state basketball this week?
I might. I missed out on it last year and saw some videos and some pictures, and the atmosphere looked really cool. And I love watching all kinds of basketball, all levels of basketball. I grew up going to the high school state tournaments every single year, so I might have to go check it out.
They got it going on at both Devaney and PBA, so it's happening at both arenas for the next several days. Just be careful of those one-way drivers catching the streets the wrong way downtown.
I mean, look, I can't really talk because it took me basically a year to get the roundabouts handled, you know?
It is harder. I mean, there's a lot of one-way streets down here.
Well, in the roundabouts, I didn't understand those. It took me so long. You got a favorite? I mean, I haven't done any research. You have a favorite to win
I'd love to see one of the Lincoln schools win, but
there's a lot of Lincoln schools, right?
There are. I know that Southwest lost earlier today. Lincoln High's playing right now, coached by former Husker Dominique Kelly, so I'm pulling hard for her. That'd be great if she could get one done.
All right.
So it should be fun. All right. When we come back, we'll talk some Husker baseball. The head ball coach will be here next.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
Hot dogs! Get your hot dogs!
Over here.
Hot dogs, sir?
Nah, but when does the Nebraska Lottery guy come around?
Who?
You know, the guy who sells Nebraska Lottery scratch and lotto tickets.
Sorry, sir. Nobody like that around here. You need to go to a Nebraska Lottery retailer.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Well, when does the chocolate souffle guy come around?
You don't go to many baseball games, do you?
Play is good. Go play. Odds vary by game.
Flips it ahead. Huskers have 5-on-4. Matty Kroll drives on Peebles. Reverse layup. Good! Matty Kroll with a great finish, and she's got 11.
Tomorrow, join Matt Coatney and Jeff Griesch for full coverage of Nebraska women's basketball at the Big Ten tournament. The Huskers are set to face off against the Michigan State Spartans, with pregame coverage beginning at 11:15 a.m. right here on the HRN. Tune in to your local affiliates or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You ain't seen nothing. This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Husker fans, don't miss your chance to get a first look at new head coach Matt Rule and the 2023 Husker football team. Be in Memorial Stadium on Saturday, April 22nd for the annual Nebraska football red and white spring game presented by FNBO. Tickets are on sale now and are only $10 when purchased in advance and $20 on the day of the game. To secure your tickets today or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
When you're a fan, you wear your team's jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. After a win, your world glistens. Lose, and the hurt permeates your soul. You'll always have a place with us in the Cox Fan Zone, where everyone can play and connect with other fans in a big group hug. See, in the Fan Zone, you're not some crazy fan. your home.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe, voice of the Huskers. Say Fan Zone into your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Huskers.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
I think farming picked me. I didn't pick farming. I'm not afraid to try something new. It's my farm, my family, and our future. My Channel Seedsman gets that. I get access to innovative products with personalized advice backed by data to maximize my yield potential. With Channel, I know I'll prosper for years to come.
Define your future at channel.com/future. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices. Copyright 2022 Bayer Group. All rights reserved.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined by the head baseball coach for the Cornhuskers, Will Bolt. 2 weekends into this season, 3-3-1. How do you assess the first 7 games?
Yeah, we've seen a lot already. Obviously, we didn't have the first weekend that we would have liked to have had, but saw a lot of really positive things there. Kind of talked to the team about those things and some things we felt like we needed to improve on, after that first weekend. And what we've seen from this group of guys is they're very intentional, they're very hungry, very coachable. They really they want to improve and get better, and that's what I've asked of this group is let's just show up every day, work hard, and just keep getting a little bit better. So. To come back and go sweep a good opponent on the road after a rough first weekend shows me that our heads are in a really good spot. Just not too high, not too low. Just show up and compete. And we've done that. I think we've gotten better each time we've taken the field. And I thought our best game was Sunday. You got a chance to sweep on the road. And I felt like that was probably our most complete game. Was on Sunday, so some good signs there. Got some pitching line kind of back up on the weekend, and the bats have stayed pretty hot here for 6 games or so.
It's going to go there next because I think you felt like going into the year you've really improved your lineup and you've made it longer. Guys 1 through 9 that could really hurt the other team. That seems to have bared out the first 2 weekends. Yeah,
I mean you've had Garrett Anglam hitting in the 9-hole to start the year, and hopefully we can keep him towards the bottom of the order. That means the rest of the guys are really, really swinging the bat well. Garrett's off to a great start. Bryce Matthews has had some really, really good at-bats. Josh Caron has been tremendous, what we've seen from him pretty much the whole year. And Dylan Carey's off to a nice start. So we've got several guys that are off to a good start offensively. And that's with, our opening night 3-hole hitter, Griffin Everett, has not gotten off the start that he would like. So we know he's going to be a big part of our offense. So, once he gets going, it becomes even a little bit more scary. So, and Will Walsh, you could probably add to that category. And I think just 1 through 9 is just tougher to pitch to. It's just even the innings that we're not scoring, we're getting guys on base, we're extending at-bats, very few non-competitive at-bats in there, and that's what you'd hope to see from an experienced lineup.
In the past, you've had some trouble with some left-handed pitching. You saw 2 left-handed starters over the weekend, and you handled both of those guys pretty well. Yeah, and even before this weekend, the one lefty that we saw for San Diego kind of shut us down. So made some nice adjustments. It all starts with, the right-handed hitters just using that right center gap, and that's kind of how we got going. And then once you get to that spot,
the extra base hits kind of come behind that. So really good approaches those last 2 games against those tough lefties. I mean, guys that had, they had a freshman on Saturday, South Alabama did, that was running it up to 91, 92 in the first inning, and we made him get in the zone. And I think that's another thing that we've done a really nice job of is we haven't chased a lot. So the pitchers, they've had to come in the zone, and when they've come in the zone, we've been ready to hit.
I go even back to the first game of the year. You didn't have a lot of hits, but you had a lot of base runners because you were drawing walks and making them throw you strikes. Yeah, and
we're not going to the plate looking to walk, but we're going to the plate looking to get a good pitch to hit. So if we are on the offensive that way, the pitcher tends to try to nibble a little bit more because he knows if he throws a ball over the middle of the plate that we're going to be ready to hit, and you get some more walks. You've seen a ton of hit by pitches already this year too because teams are trying to pitch us in a little bit more, and that speaks to some more of the extra base power maybe that we have in our lineup, and we've also seen a few times where the outfielders are playing deeper, so we've had some balls drop in that, that maybe not. So it all comes back to getting a good pitch to hit and being ready to hit it. But we've got some physical guys in the lineup that are doing a nice job of squaring balls up.
Dylan Carey does not look either with the bat or the glove like a guy that's just starting his college career. Is that what you saw from him all fall? Yeah, it is. And I think he goes back to making that decision to go play at St. Joe last summer of really gaining even more confidence. I mean, he had an amazing senior year in high school, 2-time state champ, Colorado Player of the Year. So it might kind of sound a little funny to hear a kid say he got more confidence, but you go put a wood bat in his hands and he goes and hits 350 against college pitching. So he's thinking, okay, this is the same game I've been playing my whole life. It's just a little bit of a different level. So I think him going and doing that was a huge step in his development as a hitter. And he played shortstop every day for a college team too. So he's learning a new position at third base. He's a natural over there. He's got a great set of mentors on the infield, and Bryce Matthews and Max Anderson, who are veterans that have really helped him along. And he's a very mature kid. So it's been not a real surprising what he's done. Josh Caron, you mentioned him earlier. He's caught, I think, 6 of the 7. That's right. Do you want to spread that a little bit more? Or are you okay and comfortable with him doing that much? He's our guy back there, and that's the thing. And he wants to catch every day. You have to be. We're going to have some midweeks coming up, so it's going to be spread out probably a little bit more once we do that. But he's a guy that he's really taken charge back there. The pitchers love throwing to him, and we have 3 really good catchers for that matter. But Josh has kind of spearheaded that mentality of, hey, I want to be the guy. I want to catch. I'm built for it. I mean, physically, he's everything you could possibly want in a catcher, and he's throwing well, he's receiving well, he's blocking well. And I thought the thing that was, a great sign was on Sunday, he's caught all these games. It's hot. It's 80-something degrees the last 2 days there, and, he drives in 5 runs, hits 2 home runs, and, has 3 hits. So he wasn't wearing down as far as I'm concerned. Let's talk pitching a little bit here. Again, visiting with Husker coach Will Bolt on Sports Nightly. The bullpen had a rough first weekend. How valuable was it, and what did you see differently weekend 2 when they didn't give up any earned runs? Yeah, Brockett did a nice job, on Saturday, kind of coming in and settling things down. And, the game was not necessarily in balance there, so it was good to finish that game off with not a whole lot of arms. And he probably could have finished. He could have finished. Right? Yeah, he could have finished for sure. And then Garza, of course, comes in and just was amazing. And that's what we're, again, you don't expect a guy to come out of the pen and throw 6 scoreless with, only giving up 1 hit, but he filled up the zone. I mean, that's really what we want to see out of the pen is just guys that are coming in on attack and their best breaking ball's ready. Their best fastball command is ready when they come out of the pen. And Shea got us a couple of, some scoreless innings on Friday. It got a little dicey at times with him, but he made some big pitches when he needed to. I think he's kind of settling in a little bit. So the roles are starting to get a little bit more defined, but we also didn't see a lot of guys over the weekend either. So there's some more guys in there that we're going to be counting on to get us some big outs. All right, you're headed to Minneapolis, the Cambria College Classic. It used to be called the Dairy Queen. I'm going to miss the Blizzards part of this thing. Heck of a field. You're going to be challenged this weekend. Yeah, it's
when you start putting together a schedule, you want to have the RPI opportunities. You want to put your players in good venues, and we know we're going to have good weather up there in the dome, and not have to worry about that. So we're going to get the games in. But the field is very competitive, and when we first signed up for it, it was all SEC teams. It was Missouri was the Saturday team. So I think our guys, we recruit to that. They know that coming to Nebraska, they're going to play a challenging schedule, and it's going to be a good field. Should be an awesome environment for our players to play in, and ultimately they're just. Friday, Vanderbilt is a great program, but, we feel like we are too, and we're ready for the challenge.
Then you get the defending champs on Sunday, Ole Miss.
Yeah, yep, a good Hawaii team on Saturday, and then Ole Miss on Sunday. So
back home in a week, weather's going to be a little chilly next week.
Yeah.
Already looking ahead to that?
To be expected a little bit, right? It may be a little dicey Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see kind of how that plays out. But and then next weekend, extended forecast, we're already kind of potentially looking at, backup plans if need be. So hopefully it turns and we're able to get the games in here. No snow. Field's looking good. It's almost completely ready to go. So cross our fingers for some good weather.
Mike Anderson's bringing Northern Colorado in. Mike
That's right.
was head coach here for a long time. You were here when he was the assistant coach for Dave before that. He's meant a lot to Husker baseball.
He has, yeah, absolutely. And he won a couple of Big 12 championships as a head coach. The only game in Omaha Nebraska's ever won, he was the head coach there. And he gave me my start in coaching as well. Gave me an opportunity to be his grad manager for a year and hired me as his volunteer assistant. So, he's a lot of years of really good service here to Nebraska, and great man, great family. Be good to see him back here.
No doubt. All right, thanks for coming in. Good luck this weekend.
You bet. Thank you.
Will Bolt with us here on Sports Nightly. Hey, folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More of the show coming up.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. For the 5th straight year, the University of Nebraska system is a top 100 patent-earning institution. NU system researchers were granted 43 patents in 2021, with UNL researchers named as inventors on 25 of these patents. Husker patents include 3 projects with partners at the University of Nebraska Medical Center and 6 patents for a surgical robot developed by faculty in the College of Engineering.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, 2-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Josh Ahrens in Kearney, Scott Vermas in La Vista, or Dennis Malloy in Bellevue today.
It's Ram Truck Month at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair. Your shopping experience in new 2023 Ram 1500 will surpass your expectations. With Woodhouse Ram, your car buying journey is on your terms. In store off Highway 30 in Blair or online at WoodhouseChryslerJeepDodge.com, where you can shop our inventory, apply for financing, and live chat with our sales team. Discover the 2023 Ram 1500 during Ram Truck Month, going on now at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blair.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Not meal, but field. 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a comment or a question or a text or a call. All of that is in play for you for the next 15 minutes or so here on the program tonight. The Combine is underway tomorrow in Indianapolis. At least the workout portion start tomorrow. I think some of the interviewing has been going on for the last couple of days. The Huskers have O'Shawn Mathis, Travis Vokalek, Trey Palmer. I would guess O'Shawn will go tomorrow, sometime between 2 and 7 o'clock our time tomorrow night. The defensive line linebackers go then. And then Travis and Trey will both go on the 4th, which is Saturday, sometime between noon and 7 o'clock. And the NFL Network will have a lot of coverage of this. So if you watch and sit back, you'll probably be able to catch a couple of those Huskers doing some of that. I'm excited. I'm anxious. I'm nervous for those three guys because, you know, this is a big-time job audition for these guys.
Yeah, and, I mean, Trey Palmer obviously has a chance to really shoot up some
boards because they love the way guys test, love how they run, and obviously he is going to probably fly and run a very fast 40, and so it's going to be a show to watch. And then, I think a guy like Travis Vokalek had some intrigue and some interest, but he just battled injuries. He needs to have a good performance too, to go show what he can do, and I think he will. I think he'll be ready. I mean, he posts about it on his social media. I think he'll be absolutely ready to rock it.
Now, our guy, Jeremiah, we believe is there.
Yeah, he's most agents, and it's kind of a big gathering, you network and all of that. And so, if you have guys that might not get drafted, you want to talk and meet with teams and sell them, and maybe a potential undrafted free agent type of deal. But yeah, I mean, it is a big to do. I mean, everybody who's working in the NFL goes to this thing.
Do you think we could sweeten the pot and he could come maybe next week and tell us how it went?
I'll have to ask him. We'll see. I mean, we're due for another podcast coming up. He kind of falls off the grid for a little while.
He does.
And then we
Says
bring
he
him
has
back.
a job.
Yeah. Well, and also if we're not talking football, he's, he basically football season. He's kind of like JB is volleyball season. I think like they kind of have a disappearing act until their sport comes back. But, definitely would like to hear his perspective because he's dialed in and he's tuned into all of that, and he'll know and he'll have a good perspective on how those guys did, and he will also be able to talk to how they did in the meetings and all that, because that's something that he'll be informed of as well.
Good. Look forward to that. So
I have no guarantee. He called in the other night for Andrew's last show, by the way.
He did. Good for him.
He called him and wished him good luck and thanked him and made Andrew's day. But other than that, we haven't heard from him. So no guarantees, but I'm going to reach out and hopefully he'll be able to do something with us.
You made the chat room's day by just mentioning that there's a possibility that Jeremiah may come on the program.
I mean, he is. I think they like Jeremiah more than they like us.
I don't think there's any question. So hopefully we can get a full report on him. But good luck to O'Shawn, Travis, and Trey the next couple of days. I know it's disappointing for like a Garrett Nelson to not get invited to that. The Pro Day, which is kind of a mini version of this, will be on campus here in Nebraska in a couple of weeks, and he'll have a chance to test in time and do all that stuff here.
There is a guy by the name of Jordan Evans who played for Oklahoma, who ended up playing in Cincinnati I think he just finished up. I mean, I don't know if he's still playing, but he didn't get an invite to the combine and crushed his pro day, ended up getting drafted, and then played several years for the Bengals. So, just because you don't get invited to the combine doesn't mean you cannot make a name for yourself. And Nebraska's a program because they know that you're going to get guys that know how to handle themselves in the locker room, know how to handle the expectations, the work and everything that goes along with the business part of being in the NFL. They know players from Nebraska are prepared for that. So the NFL is always going to be highly represented at Pro Day here. So you can still get a chance to show yourself off and get a, potential job opportunity or sell yourself and maybe get drafted or get a good undrafted free agent deal.
Well, you just look at how some of those first-year Huskers did last year in the league. Cam Taylor-Britt was terrific. JoJo Doma did some nice things with the Colts.
But both of them went to the combine.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Cam Jurgens really didn't get a chance to show off. His time is coming. He just rookie year, offensive line, playing behind a great center. He's going to get his time.
Cam Taylor-Britt ran one of the fastest 40s.
He did.
For defensive backs.
Yep.
And he told me at the spring game that he was disappointed that he should have ran faster.
He had a great year with the Bengals.
He's awesome. I'm so happy for him.
I bet he's back for the spring game.
I bet he is too. He loves this place.
Yeah.
I bet he is. He will be first on my list to interview. I know the chat wants that as well.
Be good to see him. Let's head to Valentine and Bill. Good evening, Bill. Welcome to the program.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I just wanted to comment, respectfully comment. I disagree a little bit on the volleyball game. I don't think that attendance is the important thing. It's a big deal to pull off. I'm not a big concert fan either, but it's no big deal. But I just wanted to. Nobody's disagreed with you so far.
So you don't think they should be playing this in the football stadium?
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, you can see it better on TV. You're not going to be able to see it from the other end anyway. But I'm not a big concert fan either. But I just think it's one of those things where maybe you're spending your money on something that isn't all that important.
Well, Bill, appreciate your point of view on that. I guess that's up to every person to make the determination whether they want to spend the money and be a part of something historical like that. A lot of people comment about when the NCAA tournament moved their Final Four to these big domes, and it is hard to see. I've been in some of those, and it's not you don't see the basketball court very well. So I get his point, but I think a lot of people are going to want to be a part of history.
I don't think the issue will be with the cameras on TV. I mean, they'll figure out, whoever's putting it on TV, they'll figure out the camera angles. I mean, they've got cameras everywhere. I mean, they have the wire camera that flies over the field. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought one of those in. Like, they will have it covered for watching it on TV. I do understand the point. I mean, the Final Four, sometimes when they put them in those big domes, depending on where your seat is, it is a little bit more challenging to see. But I've seen the layout. I think it's a good layout. I think, they're going to do everything they can to give everybody the best experience. But also, I just think it's something that these players are going to absolutely embrace getting the opportunity to do. I mean, I bet they think it's because they go to all the football games and they think the atmosphere is so cool. And a lot of times it's what sells these players to come to Nebraska is they go to football games. They bring these recruits to football games. And so, to have not every student athlete, obviously most football players, but they're the only ones that get the opportunity to play in that atmosphere. Now here the volleyball players are going to get that chance. I think they're going to absolutely be stoked to get to do it.
402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program in the last few minutes with a call or a text. Our Sports Nightly hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you were looking for with Woodhouse. We're back to wrap up tonight's show next.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. That's a reminder from the NDOT. Got a little frog in my throat.
Right? You
The
need
NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I was like, if you take it,
Not
finish
sure where that
read.
came from. All choked up tonight. Basketball tomorrow, 11:30. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm excited. I love March Madness. It is my favorite time of the year. This is the best. So let's go Huskers. Let's put a run together, and I think they'll come out ready to go.
They played Sparty just once. It was a couple weeks ago. Remember, their coach wasn't here. She got in like a car accident and was in the hospital, and so she was not part of the game at PBA. Huskers had a big lead and then turned the ball over a lot in the fourth quarter. It got really close at the end. Nebraska held on to win, so it'll be an interesting game. Conference tournaments are fun. The two games today were really good and competitive games. So the Huskers started off tomorrow at 11:15 with Coat and Jeff Grease tomorrow. And then I'm headed to Minneapolis for baseball. You've got the show tomorrow night. What do you got lined up for folks?
Yeah, I got a fun couple of days planned. We're going to hear from Liam Cronin. I know we've talked a lot of Husker wrestling, and this is a fun team, and they're headed into the Big Ten. You want to talk about a fun tournament.
Wow.
The Big Ten championships, there's going to be a lot of these guys that are wrestling for conference titles or be the guys that are wrestling for national titles. And the Huskers feel good about the lineup that they have, going into the postseason. And so hear from Liam Cronin. Liam Cronin at 125, he's ranked third. He got the second by Iowa's wrestler at 125. He's the national champion. But Spencer Petras or
He's
whatever.
been around forever.
I know. He's like one of those guys, the Minnesota quarterback that you guys said.
Tanner Morgan, yeah.
I don't know who's been here longer, Tanner Morgan or Spencer Petras, but, he got the number 2 overall seed, and, so we'll hear from him and a little bit more perspective on the season overall. And also, if you missed any of the podcasts or don't have access to it, we're going to hear from Susan Elza, the chief of staff for Nebraska football that Matt Rowe brought in after serving as the athletic director for UIL. And then we'll hear from Coat. Coatman's going to have a full recap of the women's game.
Yeah, Dr. Elza, fascinating gal. Loves to golf, I guess. Big golfer.
She's a golfer.
So
she met Jeannie, Coach Sutherland, and we were both talking when we had Coach on right when she got hired. She is such an awesome lady. She is a boss. So
And the Husker women's golf team's pretty good.
They are. She's going to have them ready to go, and I think that they're pretty young. You've been telling me about the freshman golfer back to the fall.
Kellyanne Strand from Idaho, Boise, Idaho, I think is where she's from.
Small town Idaho. Played with the boys. And
no, it wouldn't be Boise. It's a smaller community than that. But
had like one other girl in her really small graduating class, so we'll hopefully have her on. But golf season really just kind of get going, and they're kind of the same as baseball and softball. They have to hit the road and aren't back for a while, so they kind of stay gone for the month of February.
I drove by a golf course in town today, and there were some guys out playing.
It was nice today. It was pretty nice.
Low 50s, not much wind.
Especially when you haven't been able to be out there and, the first chance you get. My dad's texting me from the golf course like 70 degrees. I'm like...
Full confession, I got 9 holes in last week.
Just rub it in, why don't you?
In Alabama.
Rub it in. Yeah. How'd you play?
My chipping was atrocious. I actually got off the tee box pretty well, but I couldn't chip to save my life. I was playing volleyball across the greens. Chip, come back, chip back on the other side. That's a
How'd Ben play?
He hit it pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit it pretty well. So we played the two of us, which is nice. We didn't embarrass ourselves in front of a couple other guys or something out there on the course, but it was nice to be outside. It was 80 degrees and humid. So
I think there's going to be quite a few Husker fans in Minneapolis this week.
I do too. Going up to catch both. Why not? You're up there to do that. So, and a lot of media will be up there, so you'll see a lot of coverage. And hopefully the team is ready to play tomorrow at 11:30. How about, you mentioned Mark Manning wrestling. There, Ann Arbor is hosting the Big Ten. He came and talked to the football team, right?
Yeah, it's cool to see. They posted the video on social media, but he, I guess, took his sons out to practice. And Coach Rule has been at every wrestling duel that's taken place. He's been at every one. And so had Coach Rule talk to the guys after the practice, and even Coach Manning broke it down at the end. One better is what they say. One better on 3. So he even broke it down at the end of the practice.
Good for him. Mark Manning's one of my favorite guys on this staff.
Me too. On campus.
On campus.
Fall in love with conditioning. I will not be falling in love with conditioning. But
I kidded Trev in the hour one. I go, this was your favorite time of the year. And he kind of rolled his eyes. He goes, but it's really important.
Yes,
and he's right.
It really
is.
is.
It's really important.
Yeah. I mean, they can fall in love with conditioning all they want. I won't be falling in love with conditioning.
Ron Brown always says championships are built in empty stadiums.
Oh, it is.
That's
absolutely. This is when those national championship teams are made.
Folks, if you haven't seen the video of the tug of war stuff, go find it on social media tonight. It's pretty fun. And they even get some coaches and some support staff involved in it. And the guys are hooting and hollering, having a great time.
Oh, again, a nice break from the grind.
Jessica will also have the party show for you on Friday night as well. Thanks to Cole. Great work as always tonight. Good luck for the Huskers tomorrow. 11:30 tip-off, 11:15 for pregame coverage right here on the HRN. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
Woodhouse Nissan offers a variety of SUVs and crossovers that will fit your lifestyle. Stop into one of our 2 convenient locations and check out the brand new all-electric 2023 Nissan Ariya. This versatile SUV seats up to 5 people and offering plenty of cargo space without compromising its efficiency. With Nissan Drive at Home, you can conveniently schedule your next test drive online and have it delivered to your driveway anytime. Start shopping today at woodhousenissan.com or woodhouseplacenissan.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. UNL has been awarded over $14 million by the U.S. Department of Commerce to expand robotics research and teaching spaces, part of a $25 million award given to the state of Nebraska to advance robotics research. The funding will allow the university to educate and train the next generation